Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me is Ben. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
What are we doing here? Why have we convened today of all days?
I put out the Salt Circle signal because I thought we could talk about Salt Circle.
Oh.
Yeah. For those who don't know, that's our podcast. That's
in case you're unaware.
yeah, that's the thing we've been doing for longer than my marriage has existed. No big deal. Well, how many years has it? It's been like 5 years now. It's over 5 years now. Right? It was like 5 years this past September, I think. Or something. It's something like that. We're at 200 odd. I mean, our count is absolutely fucked because we have so many number ones and little fun series. We have to be at 300 now, I think. All of the grain of salt and all that stuff combined with our main line, we're at like 208 or 209. But yeah, I don't know. We've been talking about all the other stuff that we liked from 2022. I thought it would be a good idea to do
let me check.
Like just a little bit of a kind of a recap and just, I don't know, shoot the shit about the podcast.
Yeah.
And this year, like, go on.
No, you go.
Oh,
you're rolling.
I'm rolling. I was just gonna say, like, I had asked you beforehand. Yeah, the only new thing we introduced was the Salt Labyrinth.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Salt Labyrinth.
I like it. I'm looking forward to more of that. It's a good format.
Yeah, it's short podcast, short prep. It's just get a hit of something good.
And if something like flops, like if I pick something by a cover and I'm like, it's not like heavy commitment, you know?
No.
And that was like, you know, we did Dragon Ball that year, and that was a fear. Have I just agreed to like 400 episodes of mediocrity? I hope not.
But that we would have done something else.
No. I'm not that guy.
I mean, we only kept doing Dragon Ball even because we were so furiously in.
I was, yeah. I mean,
there are so many other plans that got thrown in the fucking garbage. It's like, nope, just gotta keep doing Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And then the fucking redo for like Super. Because we were planning other stuff, and I'm like, I think I'm ready to do Super. And then we like dumped all of those plans. And we did fucking Super. Yeah, man.
True.
I mean, that was we talked about, like, you know, the best stuff of 22. My 2022 was defined by Dragon Ball. It's not even fucking close. And honestly, like,
oh no.
I mean, just because of how much of it there is and how long we spent on it, like, that might actually be the most defined any year of my life has been by, like, any form of media. Honestly, it's just so much.
We definitely recorded over 24 hours of us just talking about Dragon Ball last year.
Oh, give me one. We recorded over what?
24 hours.
24 hours. Sorry, my internet did that, or my audio did that thing again.
Because I think it's 23 podcasts of Dragon Ball stuff, and plenty of those episodes are over an hour.
Yeah, that checks. Like, that's
I don't know what the actual hour count is, but it might be closer to 30.
And we're gonna do more.
Include like sending texts and
all of the external communication, all the screenshots whipping back and forth.
Yeah.
It was just like,
it was a good time. Dragon Ball's good.
It was a very good time, dude. And we like fucking snuck in there. Because the other thing that kind of defined this year is that our podcast has now survived the pandemic and is currently surviving a war.
It's true.
And like, I would be down to do Dragon Ball like right now, but I would not be able to do it in the same capacity that I did. Like I was burning. I would watch like 30 episodes at a crack was fucking nothing. I was plowing, and that's just not like viable right now at all. So
Sure.
just absolutely crushed that timing.
Yeah. I mean, also
Sounds nice.
part of doing Dragon Ball was you needing like an escape valve from life stuff.
Yeah,
Like there was definitely some of like if you weren't so feverishly like I need to get through more Dragon Ball, we might have had
Yeah.
like a break from the podcast period.
yeah, I guess that's also true. Cause like
Like that might have
Going-
happened.
going right through all all the sanctions and shit, and, like when stuff
Yeah.
started popping off and it was real hitter. Yeah, I do remember thinking that. It's like,
Yeah.
stuff is shit, but there's Dragon Ball. Oh, you can't be that. Life can never be truly terrible when you're watching Goku do stuff.
He is Goku.
It can be a little
He's pretty
terrible when
great.
you're waiting for him to do stuff. When you're in the middle of the Planet Namek arc and you're just really waiting for Goku to come back. But
Just like when years have gone by and you're still on Namek. Oh, it's getting up to Jason Birder. Oh, nope. Reset back to Radix.
rip.
Start all over.
I mean, yeah, it was
These injustices.
like Dragon Ball, and then like the other standout one for me, I guess, is Sailor Moon, because we also just did so much of that, and
We did do a
related
lot of Sailor Moon,
related
too.
things. Codenamed Sailor.
Man, I
V.
wish Pretty Guardian hadn't turned out. They hadn't turned on us so hard.
Look, we get nobody can take away those first 14 episodes, though.
Those first 14 episodes are some of the best episodes of TV I've ever watched.
Nobody
And,
can take away a game show Luna.
Game Show Luna is tremendous. I just want to see Usagi dunk all the time.
And then the goddess, we thought
But
that was-
honestly, the thing with that is now like I'm excited to get back to like actual Sailor Moon.
oh
it's
yeah.
just good.
I was actually thinking about that too.
Some
Like
point.
I'm pretty ready to get back into that and finish it out. Because
Yeah.
that one took me way longer to settle into, but like as I said while we were watching, like I'm comfy now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here for that vibe.
Look, anime, it's all about those outfits.
100%. I mean, also, you know what? Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon is pretty good about the drip.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the thing that I love about the Sailor Moon anime in particular is how committed it is to Usagi is our main character and she is also our comic relief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my enduring image of Sailor Moon is like in that the princess episode where she's fallen out of the tree and her like leg is like bent back over on herself.
Yeah.
Just Usagi eating shit.
God. And
Just
the
so funny.
The whole concept for that episode was just a banger. What was it like? Princesses need to be great at frisbee or whatever. Like all
Yes.
the shit that's
'Cause
hyper
that's what Sailor Moon
specific.
is good at.
Yeah, hyper specific to her.
That was the one plan that where they had actually done research on specifically what Sailor Moon was like.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Because all the
great.
other ones were more generic and like not actually would help them find Usagi. But that one they did the research.
Yeah. But no,
That
like
also has the great line of Usagi saying, "I didn't know eating would be this hard." And defeating the villain by like offering her some tea.
yeah.
the
The
end.
fucking joke
God,
ass
that episode
battle.
rules.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into that whenever we do. And like it's we passed. It's not like Dragon Ball can ruin our plans again. Sort of, kind of.
There's an amount of
Like,
Dragon Ball left,
yeah.
it's good stuff. There's good stuff.
Well, not all of it.
It's good stuff.
Though I don't know if you'll be. I'm doing GT eventually. I don't know if you'll be joining me on that quest, but
yeah, I don't know.
I've like
I have it in me.
we're running out of the lands that are basking in the light.
There's
and
plenty
now I'm
of
wondering,
good Dragon Ball you haven't watched yet. Though.
I know, but like we're running out of that, and I'm wondering what lies in the shadows.
Sure. Sure.
But
I'm just saying there is good Dragon Ball we haven't covered.
Part of that is that I'm also like, for those who don't know, I've talked about this a little bit. My plan is to rewatch original Dragon Ball because it's a fucking delight. And then I'm gonna go through Z, like proper Z, and then I'm gonna go through GT. That's gonna be my route. So that'll probably be a while. Just because like I don't have the time these days. I went from like 8 hours of free time a day to like 2. Which, like, I don't. On one hand, I mind it because like any change like that, I mind. But really, what it is, for those who don't know, we lived like right next to Anya's family. So like, if me and you were on our bullshit, and I'm like, I gotta watch Dragon Ball, like Anya goes hangs out with her family, and it's totally fine, and she doesn't mind, and I don't mind, and like we also hang out together. It's not like I'm fucking ignoring her completely, unless Goku's really in the middle of it, and then but no, we were doing our shit, but like now, it's me, so I gotta be that support, which totally accepting of, because that's how it is, but yeah, it's just a lot less time to do like bullshit for the most part.
Sure. And
even now, like I mean, it'd be different if she was like if she was into Dragon Ball. That would be the dream,
Yeah.
But at least with like playing games or something, like if we do end up watching something, like I can just like play games. But she doesn't want to watch Dragon Ball, so.
Can't have everything.
Oh, 1 second. It's doing the thing again. Okay. I saw you going green, but there was no noise.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, my audio's gotten worse for like not quality, but like I mean, I'm having this audio problem and I don't know what's causing it at all. My setup is exactly the same as it was in St. Petersburg.
Maybe your electricity is bad.
That would not surprise me at all. I'll take the trade-off, though, because the water here is delicious. Like, better tap water than we have out of my parents' fridge at their house in America. Like, just incredible. I completely lost where I was coming to a
lost the thread.
Yeah, I was coming to a station, but the train derailed. Yeah. So I guess like
Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, those were the two big things.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I'm enjoying the continued. I like our holiday setup. Reflecting on like how we do Halloween. Christmas is on a limited thing right now, but like just watch kind of the same, the track. Do those? I mean, if you don't mind pulling back the curtain, I forget. Do the Salt Screen episodes? Do those do people watch those? Is that like a thing people actually turn on?
Yeah. Those get generally comparable. Occasionally, like even better than normal listens, but
Oh, that's
generally like
wild.
of a kind.
Okay. I mean, that's good if people are into
Yeah.
it. I mean, I don't.
No, if we were getting nothing on them, I would say we
Oh,
do less of them. But
I was gonna say
would've.
like I don't actually care if like nobody listens to them because I enjoy them. Like we're already,
Yeah.
it's a fun thing. Get to watch a movie with a friend.
Yeah.
That's like
I
when
think
our what is it horror was Horror Express the one where my audio just like stopped 12 minutes in.
Horror Express was the one where we just lost the whole commentary track
Yeah. See, like that
and
didn't
had to do a mini episode.
like it didn't even feel that bad because like it was still just a good time.
Sure.
I mean, we've
Yeah,
we've talked.
weirdly, I think our commentary tracks for the Spider-Man movies did pretty good, actually.
Hmm.
Particularly, like Spider-Man 3 through the two Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Oh, interesting.
So the movies people liked less, I guess.
Maybe it was just the.
Like Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think has the highest,
Is
the
it
most
just like
number
the?
of listens out of all of them.
Is it like the novelty of like me not having seen them?
I don't know,
Like just
dude.
someone going in completely blind. I don't know.
No, because that's true for like basically all of them.
I guess. But like maybe that's one people like the least or something. So they're like, oh man, someone hasn't seen it. This new person's outlook on it will prove my hot takes or something. I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
Is it Spider-Man 3 where he kisses Gwen?
Yep.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. that one hasn't left the brain. Out of everything in those movies, like that one, they don't mention that one in the pinball machine. Is what I'll say. Like, I just can't. I still don't see anybody talking about it, and I don't know why.
No.
Like that blows my. And it's just
When-
unaddressed.
Peter just kisses that other girl in front of MJ before he's bonded with the symbiote.
Yeah, just that's straight
Just
douchebag Peter.
being a piece of shit, and then like comes back and is like, "What?
Oh man.
What'd I do?"
Yeah,
Man.
that was unreal. Like I can't get over that fucking moment. I talked to Ani about it because I think she had seen that one. I don't know. She looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, nobody are people like collectively forgetting this on purpose?
And it's not the part of that movie people remember, which is
Wrong, incorrect.
yeah. It is a long movie, and that's kind of near the front though, so
That's
I
true.
kind of get it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just so solidified because like I knew all the bits that people focus on, like I'd seen,
Yeah.
Even like if you recall, my experience with those films was I'd seen fractions of them on like
Yeah.
TV, and I had seen like the meme parts on TV.
Yeah.
So like I knew about those, but not the other shit.
I know, for a movie that's so incredibly memed, nobody brings that part up, really.
Because it's too rough. Too rough to be memed. Too rough for meme.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the meme?
Yeah. This is just pain.
Fucking
And that was a big. What did we? I guess Spectacular Spider-Man wasn't this year, right? Was that 2021? Probably.
correct.
Yeah.
I think Bubblegum Crisis was our big grain of salt this year.
Right. Oh, dude, and that was. I think I probably didn't really talk much about how that affected me. Kind of. That like opened a door for how I experience probably anime more so than other things, but like those soundtracks, I mean, they're just objectively incredible, right? Like there's so many good songs, but listening to the soundtrack was good just for having on in the background at work, but it was a great way of like they're set up in a way that you can like you're re-experiencing the anime, you know, with the other stuff, because you have like some of the more traditional soundtrack-y songs, and since we had just watched it, I was like, this is a really good representation of like these episodes. Like I remember what's going on and all that, and that's really that was opening the door for me, like for Utena. I have that soundtrack and I'll like put that on, and before Bubblegum Crisis, I would seek out like the bangers, right? I'd be like, okay, like the best of vocal tracks or something, like just the ones that slap. And now I'll throw on the Utena soundtrack and I'll be like, I want to experience Utena, but like I obviously can't watch the anime while I'm at work. Like nothing will get fucking done.
Yeah.
So that's been like a totally new thing that I just had not thought of. So that's been nice for just kind of experiencing a soundtrack like that. And I guess like maybe movie soundtracks, not like that's just not how I took those in for some reason, but that's been a nice change. And I mean, that anime just fucking slaps. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. Bubblegum Crisis just rules. And I also had not watched it until, I guess, I think I pre-watched that. I can't even remember now.
I think you would.
But that was just one where like I'd seen the Hurricane song on YouTube and watched that. And I was like, okay, gotta watch. I have to watch this anime. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, that must have been how early was that in the year? That must have been early. Was that like winter? Was that January, February?
Yeah, it must have been early.
Because I've
just been on this track of like looking into like scouting out older anime that I haven't like seen, mostly because it's like the thing of, you know, you're looking for the high of like the stuff you really love, and if there's old stuff that you haven't experienced, it could be like the things that you already love, but you know, a new experience for you or whatever.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Whereas like, you know, new anime is a different beast altogether.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know. I've loved doing the dive stuff. Like what? Was Rosa Versailles this year? Dude, it all blends together. I would have said Bubblegum Crisis. Jesus Christ. I would have said Bubblegum Crisis.
Rosa Versailles we did after Codename Sailor V, but right before we started on
Right. Yeah. Like going back like that. The other thing, I mean, not just anime. What the hell is what's the proto Berserk? Dororo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's been super good. Like looking at older stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Dororo was a total success on that front of looking at
that was
older stuff and
wild.
like and tracking like what influenced stuff that I like.
I mean, just the amount of shit that was like I forget if we looked if it was listed as a Berserk influence, but like holy shit, it's not an influence, it's just cartoon Berserk. Except a little darker sometimes. That pregnant woman got stomped.
I found it in a post that was like you're like listing a bunch of references, and that one just stood out to me because that was a Tezuka thing.
Yeah.
So that one grabbed me more than other stuff.
Yeah.
Like specifically the having his character like have a fake arm, like that was the idea he cited as taking from Dororo.
Gotcha. Yeah,
which is
no.
funny because then you read it and you're like, okay, but there's like way more here that's like Berserk too. It's not just that. This dude takes off his arms and there are swords under them.
Yeah. Well, but that's been like the thing. I think we got. I feel like we've gotten maybe I don't know. It's hard to say compared to other years. To me, it feels like maybe there's been a slightly higher amount of stuff that is new for both of us. Even if it's something like Dororo where you do it and then I do it and we do the podcast. It's not like, oh,
Sure.
I
Like
read this
I've
10
definitely
years
like
ago.
I've been on the research end, and then I'm like the stuff that hits. I'm like, we gotta do this.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that. I mean,
But you're not like wrong because like one of the reasons I wanted to do Sailor Moon was I wanted to read the manga, which I've never done before.
yeah.
I'd only read the Sailor V manga,
And
and like for Rose of Versailles, I didn't.
I
I barely even watched the anime. I just read the manga
I
because
lost
I'd
out
seen
on
the
that
anime
one.
before.
I got absolutely wrecked on Rose
The
of Versailles.
manga is
You're
so
like,
good.
I'm like watching it and I'm like, this is pretty good, but like, it's all it has its age and spots, like
Totally.
it's not like it bops all the time. And then you're like posting screenshots of the manga and I'm like, oh, this looks so fun. Like this is cool.
I was that and that's one like I was totally taken aback by how good the manga was.
Yeah.
Like I did not expect it to be that fucking fun.
Yeah. No, it looked
Like
it looked pretty
honestly,
good.
my first inclination was like, oh, there's no way the manga is that good, right? Like the manga, fucking Marie Antoinette is like the main character. That doesn't sound better than making Oscar the main character. And yet somehow,
Yeah.
by just more focusing on being entertaining, you don't need as much Oscar backstory.
Yeah.
It turns out.
But no, going through new stuff has been pretty nice. I mean, no complaints on like the shit you've seen before, and I'm like seeing for the first time. Obviously, that was Dragon Ball. Go figure. But like the recent stuff is pretty fun. Cause I don't know. This is where I get that fix. Like going through a new
Sure.
thing, or like Our Flag Means Death. Well, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Just getting to do a thing and then immediately gush about someone who's as high on it as you are. Oh.
Mm-hmm. That was when my friend just told me it was good. I was like, well, I trust your taste, so I'm watching it. And then, bam, love that. It's good to have a friend who's just like taste you just trust as lining up with yours. It's like pretty rare
Yeah.
that we maybe to degrees we'll have different taste and stuff, but not like outright most of the time.
Is this the friend who said
Oh,
you
there's
would like
something in
Kipo?
Yeah.
God damn it! Watch Kipo. Son of a bitch.
My friend who I went to see movies with.
Yeah. Ours is like it's a one-way track. I trust your taste. Like
Yeah.
if you told me I'd like something, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably like it. The other way is a little rough.
Yeah. Well, I just seen more than you. And
Yeah.
stuff.
The thing I've learned, I mean, it's
I'm a
one.
much
I think
deeper
just,
bench.
I think just by virtue of you seeing more things, you. It sounds stupid to say that you have a better idea of this, but like, I wouldn't have looked at. I'll pull from Mimino because I think that's a more general example of like the sentimental stuff, and you don't like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that as sentimental just because I'm not used to like thinking about a thing as being sentimental for whatever reason. So like something like Twilight Samurai, I can understand that because it's sentimental for like the feudal period and all that shit,
Yeah.
like the feudal system. That makes sense. But like even just a general level, like I wouldn't have thought, that sort of thing. But it's a learning thing, both for how to
Yeah.
describe those things and also like don't bring this up to Hank.
Yeah.
But
And
meh.
just I definitely have been trying to bring more of like, well, I would say I'm trying to do like find stuff that's new to me and like doing research into stuff and then
Yeah.
bringing that to the podcast because for a while I was just like I don't want to watch things that are new to me. That's scary. Let's just do things I know are good.
And I'm here fucking reinforcing the fear.
Yeah, yeah. And then like
Oh
every
man.
time I let you I like allow a toe to be dipped in the water gets bitten off. And,
But it worked out. I did it so poorly that you just did it yourself. Oh, it's a great
I
success.
eventually figured out although like now I'm watching like 3 new anime that are coming out. So also it's also just like
Yeah.
cycles of mood changing around.
I mean, and at least one of those is gonna be a thing on here. I need to check. How the hell do you pronounce the other one? The alien girl one with Lum. What is it?
Ursa Yatsura.
Ursa Yatsura.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check that out. Maybe we'll do 2 ongoing anime. Who knows?
Well, I'm watching 2 ongoing anime on top of that. Those 2 of that.
You're
and
watching
Gundam.
4 anime total?
Yeah. Because there's the Near Autonoma anime
Right.
that I'm watching,
I thought that one was.
and there's
Did they drop? I thought they dropped that like all.
no,
Or
no,
is-
no, that's episode to episode, and episode
Oh.
4 is even delayed. It's not coming out this week because of the production staff got COVID.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I have like zero desire to check
And then
that
I'm
out.
watching the remake of Trigun, which was an older
Yeah.
90s anime. And now
I
there's a
think
new version, which is even like a CG anime, but they redraw on the faces and the facial expressions are really good, so I
Right.
can deal with it.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the 2022.
Yeah. The movement's bad, but
For some reason,
turns
when
out
you
I can
when you
facial animations.
when you mentioned Nier, I thought because that's a Netflix thing, right?
No, it's Crunchyroll.
No. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was on Netflix. I'm like, I thought they drop shit most of the time. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Was Edge Runners? Was the Cyberpunk anime Netflix?
Maybe.
That one might have been,
I
and that
think-
would be why
I think that one might have dropped all of.
Yeah.
I still need to watch that
I
because
I
that's
have
Studio
plans to-
Trigger.
yeah. I'm not opposed. I don't know. Maybe we check it out. Maybe we check it out in 2023.
That probably will happen, or maybe
I played that
unless we
game.
get derailed by other things.
What would we get
I didn't
derailed
play
by?
that game. I don't know. We get really into Ultraman.
Ugh, that's a
No, that's not gonna happen.
look. I've said.
Look, there's
before,
nothing as good as
if I-
Dragon Ball, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
what it
that's
could
like
be.
that's the thing, right? Like, on one hand, I'm kind of glad that I got to experience this. On the other hand, I've peaked, and I'm not 30. I don't know where you go from here. Now I watch shit. Literally, I was reading. I forget what manga it was. It must have been this year, because I think I threw it on a pile of salt episode. It was the one where there was like, I don't know if they're magic users or what, but the bit that they were doing was like the main character magic user whatever was like she was like suppressing her ki basically. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're just a weak piece of shit." And then she unleashes, and I'm like, "I've seen this
Yeah.
shit before, and it was way cooler the other time." Like, I would have been super into this shit. I was super into Dragon.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was like, Dragon Slayer is really good. And I watched Dragon Ball, and I'm like, or not Dragon Slayer, Demon Slayer. I watched Dragon Ball, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this is like okay. Like, in
Yeah.
hindsight,
No,
Demon Slayer is
that's
fine, but I didn't get
the
hype the way I did in Dragon Ball. And the
thing. There's a
Dragon Ball
whole
side characters are,
genre of shonen fight stuff. It's all like Dragon Ball, but none of it's Dragon Ball.
here's the thing. Part of it is also like in Demon Slayer. I think I would actually like it. Maybe not as much, but much more, and much. I would consider it much closer to Dragon Ball for my tastes. Except
Sure.
the character, like all the other characters, are shit. Like as soon as they introduce people, it went downhill for me so fucking fast. It was unreal. Just a 100 to 0. I was so fucking hyped. Dragon Ball, they introduced new characters, and it's fucking glorious. It's incredible. Do you know how hesitant I was before we met Beerus? I was
Fair.
like, I was worried, and then he starts, and then he just like, it's amazing, like best character.
Well, Whis is also best character.
Whis and Beerus,
They're both
like
are
as
great.
the yeah. Also, like
Kind of a miracle.
the other things that have not left my brain are them at the fucking tournament, the universe tournament, just like all of their lines, honestly, just every single one of them. Ugh, just glorious. Also, I've been going back and watching. Well, I'll watch. My process has been watching the. I forget the name of the song in Japanese. The Go-Go Fight song. I remember the English translation. I watch it in Japanese, and I'm like, man, this is so fucking good. It's so hype. And then I go and I watch the English version, and I'm like, this is just fucking disappointing. Like, this is lame as hell. And then I go back to the Japanese version. I'm like, oh yeah. Like that's been the process for a couple months now.
You just need an old man going as hard as he could possibly go.
That's the fucking secret, dude. I just was so impressed. Like I thought you were blowing it out of proportion. And then I went and checked, and I'm like, holy shit, this is really limp. Just incredible.
Yeah, it just doesn't have it.
Yeah. I'm like, it has to be a little hype. It's not hype. There's zero hype, in my opinion. Which is funny in its own way. Oh.
It's a way to replicate a thing without any of the magic.
Yeah, that was just a weird thing.
I'm so glad you can just listen to the dub with the Japanese song.
Oh, what a good source. That's the other thing I'm kind of looking forward to with my original Dragon Ball rewatch is that now that I'm fucking in, I went for the saucy version you had that puts the original songs back in.
Yeah. The release that's better than any official release will ever be.
Oh yeah.
Of original Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah. Actually, I've been thinking about getting like a fat external hard drive because I actually don't have room anymore. Like if I do original Dragon Ball, it will need to be Dragon Ball Z rather, because that shit's like 900 gigs. That needs to be piecemeal for me right now. I can't actually get all of it.
Just think about it this way: it's instead of having to buy Dragon Ball Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Because those just are all flawed.
Dude, looking up I remember because I was trying to find a more economic release, and they all were sucky in some way. Like,
Yeah.
even that one I think is not perfect like the original Dragon Ball one seems to be. I remember one of them, or no, that was like one of the more recent Blu-ray releases. Like for Dragon Ball Z, they cleaned all of the grain and then reintroduced fake grain on top.
Yes.
Like, what?
That's my favorite
Like, just such
story
a
of like, what are you
dumb thing.
doing? What are you doing?
They were so focused on whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think whether or not they should. Yeah, just a weird fucking thing. But I mean, I'm also looking forward to those movies, to doing up the rest of the films. And I haven't seen the new Broly movie. What if that's my film of the year 2022?
No, Broly is the old one. There's Super there's Dragon Ball Super
Broly.
Superhero. That's the new one.
That's the new one? I thought the Broly one was the new one.
No, the Broly one
Oh.
is the one before that.
Well, what if the superhero was my favorite film of the year?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Well, now it will have to be my favorite film of 2023.
Again, it doesn't have that much Goku in it, so probably not.
Yeah, but you said it has Pan in it, right?
It does.
I mean, like, okay. I can take that trade.
but she's a child. She's not in the big fight.
Ah. What? You mean her parents don't force her to fight as like a 5-year-old and then just be like, yeah, this is parenting.
No, she just helps Piccolo with shenanigans. It's amazing.
Oh, man.
But
Fucking-
also, having caught up on all of the super manga, those 2 arcs that are complete in the super manga are really fucking good, and I keep thinking about them. It's like the super manga finished with the anime, and then it was like, all right, now we're gonna get good. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. I think I've been thinking on that one a lot, honestly. Like, for no reason other than I have time to think about it.
Yeah.
Because you did the original Dragon Ball manga while we were watching it, right? I believe. I think.
Yes.
Did you also do Z while we while we did Kai?
I didn't
I
read
thought you-
all of the Z manga. I read all
Just
of the
parts.
Boo arc in the
Oh,
manga.
okay.
I don't think
That makes sense.
because that's my favorite part.
Well, I do remember,
So-
yeah, because I remember you like sending screenshots of stuff from that part. I didn't know if you did
Yeah.
the rest of it.
No,
Okay.
it was intermittent
And like, I really love that shit.
because like the
So-
Cell arc, like I'd never no, I'd watched through it before in Kai, but I've only watched through it once before or whatever. That's the part of the story I'm less familiar with, so I wasn't like gonna also read the manga at the same time.
Yeah. So, like, eventually, I want to do all of the manga.
Yeah.
Even now, like, as I'm talking, I'm still sort of undecided. Like, do I want to actually just do all of the manga? Or do I want to just do the super manga first so I can, like, catch up and we can talk about it, whatever else? Because I don't know that I would have that initial, like, flame to just burn through all of it. And I don't know that I'd want to wait that long because I want to fucking see what happens currently. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm leaning more towards just doing super at some point this year.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I
then-
read through the entire super manga over the break.
Yeah.
Well, excepting the part I just read, which I read the Goku Black arc while we were doing that, just because that was the one I was the most curious about the differences because of the pacing thing.
Right.
So I read that part of the manga, and then that motivated me to just read through the. Honestly, I don't think I was going to until I was talking to you about it, and you were like, "We got to do the whole thing," and I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna read this whole thing." Although technically, there's part of the super manga I haven't read because the Resurrection F stuff isn't in the super manga.
Oh.
He did that. Toyotaro did that before the super manga started as an adaptation of Res F, although it's promotional, so it doesn't cover the full story of that movie.
That's weird.
And it's not in the super volumes. They just
okay.
they just go Battle of Gods directly into the Universe 6 tournament.
Oh, that's weird.
There's like a page or something about like, and then Frieza came back or something. I don't know. It was crazy.
That's really weird. I mean, yeah, you're
Um,
incomplete. You
yeah.
gotta track that shit down.
Hmm.
Well,
But even that's incomplete.
dude. That's the other fucking thing. Had certain events not fucking turn me to a life of never owning physical things that I can't pack in a suitcase ever again. I was fucking ready. I was gonna buy the
Yeah.
manga. I was gonna buy Sailor Moon manga. I was gonna look at maybe doing Rose of Versailles manga. Like I was fucking ready. Possibly
Yeah.
Berserk because I was reading a bunch of that this year or this past
Yeah.
year, and now I'm like, nope, never again.
Even I'm tempted by the Berserk manga just because those volumes are so pretty.
They're very, very good.
They're large and beautiful books.
And you wouldn't read past.
I'm gonna read beyond that this year.
I
It's gonna
don't
happen.
believe you.
No, I'm just gonna start after that and read forward.
I mean, yeah, that would be. I don't know why you would read it again.
Yeah, no.
That'd be a nightmare. Yeah, I need to catch up on their new stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to in 2023. Honestly, we have a good base coming into the year. I mean, just part of, like with the Sailor Moon stuff being like, that's midway, not midway literally, but like ready to kick back into it.
Yeah.
We got
There's a lot of show and manga.
when
left of
does Witch from Mercury start back up? Do you know? Do we know it all?
It's starting up the next quarter of the year, because it's like just taking this season of anime off.
How do seasons of anime work again? You've explained it to me like 3 times, but
It's
Just
like
one more.
quarters of the year,
okay.
basically.
So like March or something? Maybe
You know,
no,
it
March,
aired
April.
13 episodes,
Okay.
so it's gonna
April?
13 weeks or whatever at least probably will be off.
Okay.
It's like the simple, and it'll start up sometime.
Yeah.
Presumably, unless they have production delays or something, it comes up.
And I do want to. What was your idea for our first foray back into the Salt Labyrinth? Was that the Spider-Man comic you mentioned?
Spider-Man. So I have two things that I think could be good for it. One is Spider-Man issue 900,
Right.
which is from last year,
Yeah. Yeah, the one you
which
just
is
mentioned.
a single story that's quite
Yeah.
good. And the other thing is this Dragon Ball manga.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not done by. It's like an isekai, but it's. So I was resurrected as Yamcha, or a normal
shit.
a Dragon Ball reading teen is
Oh, that's wild.
becomes Yamcha,
Oh no.
and then uses his Dragon Ball knowledge to live a better life as Yamcha.
Oh, that's fucking wild.
It's great.
That's pretty
I
unreal.
love it. And it's like one volume.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not bad. I mean, realistically, like,
And it has some
both
references to Super, so that's why we couldn't read it earlier.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds fun. The other one that you I think I looked up the Batgirls, like just to get a look. That is a very distinct art style. So my
cool.
interest is a little piqued on that as well.
That one's hard just because so much of what I love about it is built on having a history with those characters.
Excuse you. I read several hobby drama posts on Reddit about the Batgirls. So who really has history here. That's what I thought. No, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
if it's
Like we can do it because it's fun, but that's kind of all it is. It's fun.
I'm down for fun, dude.
And
I
it
like
just
fun.
brings me immense joy to see comic books about these characters that are fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, my heart grows several sizes.
Yeah.
Like, these were characters that were just not even in comic books for years.
Yeah, and see, like, nothing makes your heart grow. So now I got, like, that's a great sales
It's
pitch.
true. It's true. I am cold and dead inside.
Yeah, so when something makes you feel, I'm like, I gotta see it.
I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm like, meh.
Every single thread on Reddit where anybody mentions it, they're just like, I cried at this part. I spent the entire back half of the movie crying. I spent the first half crying.
Yeah.
I watched it a third time and cried. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that makes sense. I'm not trying to fucking, I'm not trying to belittle the people who are feeling things at the film. I'm just,
No. It's just that
fuck.
does not operate on the emotional register I operate on.
Meanwhile, I'm out here like, I don't fully know why. Logically, I understand that it's not necessarily a moment to cry, but in Lord of the Rings, when the Ents start attacking, like, it makes me feel too much. And I don't know what else to do with my body.
Vegeta is out here saying Goku is number one.
Oh, man.
I love that speech so much.
It's very good. I fucking like a different feeling, but just Frieza throughout the entirety of the tournament. I've never been so suspicious in my entire fucking life. Oh, man. Perfectly played.
It's so good.
Like, literally, I can't think of another time where I've been so totally unable to judge whether or not a character is gonna, like, fuck everyone. Because he could have gone either way. And I wouldn't have questioned it.
If he had a better opportunity, he definitely would have.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, even now, like, because he gets done, like, he gets his life back, and he's like, I'm just gonna, like, try to conquer everything again, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's you, though. Like, we wouldn't try to change you. Like, that shit's unreal. Also, honestly, Dragon Ball is, like, warped how I'm watching things now. Because, like, going from that and then, like, just to bring it back to Everything Everywhere All at Once, like, those are two very different paces. Like,
Yes.
unless you're talking about, like, Planet Namek or whatever. But, like, Dragon Ball just pops for the most part. And then anything, not even just Everything Everywhere All at Once, like, literally any media, I'm like, I feel like I'm in eternity here. Like, where's this stuff? When do things happen? So
Yeah.
that's been.
I mean, that's the
difficult.
thing. The thing that I am incredibly, that really has me on the hook on that Urusei Yatsura is the stories just get. It's just how long is this funny, and then stop.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
pick it up somewhere else. Like, we don't need to resolve the functions of plot here. That's not important. When did the joke stop? Like, reach its conclusion? Okay, now we're good.
Yeah. No,
Like, just as a way to write something.
well,
that's correct.
see, and on, like, the opposite end of the spectrum, Anya has shown casual interest in, like, wanting to watch Avatar 2. She's like, do you want to watch this? I'm like, no. It's like 3 hours, and from what I know, does all of the things I hated from the first one, which were only tolerable because it was, like, the first one. I'm like, that's 3 hours? It's like a lot of Dragon Ball. I could watch instead, or literally anything else. I could start
Yeah.
at Tenna again. Could just, just so
I
much.
watched that Batman movie that I also don't want to watch because it's 3 hours
The
long.
Batman.
But I'd rather watch The Batman than Avatar: The Way of Water.
Dude, as soon as they showed the human elements in Way of Water, I'm like, I no longer give a fuck. I was kind of interested because I thought it was just going to be like blue aliens doing their thing on their planet.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nope, humans are back. And I'm like, okay, I'm out. Like, literally went from interest to never touching this again.
Yeah, the fact that like the plot is we've got a new tribe of blue people that have their own way of culture, so we can do all of those tropes all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what movies do, I guess.
Also, I think they do the
I don't
same
know.
dog shit. Like, not that I like the military. I just don't care to like those tropes just annoy me. Honestly, I'm just not in the mood for them ever. Almost.
Sure.
So, nah. I do like water though. They kind of got me there. Like, I am interested in seeing deep sea whales. Like,
That is James Cameron's main interest in life, is deep sea shit.
I mean, like, I get it. I've spent many hours just watching like deep sea videos. I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want the other stuff. Give me I'll watch a 3-hour movie that's just like the intro shot of Finding Nemo or whatever, just an empty ocean. I'll watch that. Lets me think. Yeah, no, long, just not very low tolerance for long films this year. And
I mean,
however long,
I'm just trying to watch movies by myself is a struggle. Period. You know, unless it's Shin Ultraman or Dragon Ball, then it's fine. Then I have no problems.
yeah,
This is like the movies that I like. I'm like the movie if I really love it, it's fine. If it's like it's okay, like I can't. I don't know. I can't hold myself to focusing on it. When I could watch I could pause this and watch an anime opening again. The temptation.
yeah, peak cinema. Man,
I've been watching them. Now I just watch TV. it's weird to me.
yeah.
But watching all that Dragon Ball got my TV muscles going. I think that's part of it. Now that I don't have 30 episodes of Dragon Ball to watch every week.
Yeah, it's kind of freeing, right?
But I should be watching like some absurd number of anime episodes, right?
Just rewatch Dragon Ball. Fill the void.
That's a dangerous proposition.
Just rewatch Dragon Ball and
I just watch YouTube videos about Dragon Ball.
Clips of Dragon Ball. You sent me the 48, 45. How long is that edit of the tournament?
The Tournament of Power in real time.
Yeah. That I was sick and I turned it on and I watched it for maybe a minute. Maybe. And I'm
yeah.
I feel sicker.
It's a lot.
It was just super. It was an amount of chaos that accelerated my flu
There's so
symptoms.
much sound happening at the same time.
It literally I literally turned it off and went back to bed. It fucking broke my day. That was a rough one.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I tried to watch that, I definitely got 2 seconds in and was like, fucking nope.
I'm not like I actually do want to go back.
Eventually,
Yeah.
eventually, I got to it though.
That's not a good sick video.
Yeah,
Now, regular Dragon Ball, that's great. I would watch the shit out of that while sick. Comfy.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Goku's little fucking arms when he's a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah. A little ham. A little muscle ham.
I realize one thing before we wrap this up. There is another kind of episode that I think is starting this year, is the idea of the primer episode, which we did with Power Rangers, where we don't do a deep dive. We just
kind of
take some stuff from the beginning so you have an idea of a thing.
Yeah.
Rather than like watching all of season 1 of Mighty Morphin, which is unnecessary.
Yeah. And see, for like something like that, I absolutely would have. I would have been bored, I think.
Yeah.
I can see that. It's one of those things like I don't know what we would do it for, but I feel like that'll definitely be a thing.
I had ones for Ninja Turtles.
Oh, right. You did mention that.
And X-Men, focused around animated stuff. Like watching the Pride of the X-Men short. And
instead of just watching the intro on loop like 20 times in a row.
And some of their early appearances in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and then the 90s cartoon.
Gotcha.
A little bit of it.
Yeah, no.
That one I was less sold on. And TMNT was definitely like that Shredder's Revenge game came out and I was like, my nostalgia.
Yeah, no, those are probably perfect candidates for a primer.
Yeah. Good. Well, and the TMNT one in particular, because I don't know how expansive I want it to be even for a first episode thing, because there's so many versions of TMNT.
I mean, we can always do 2 parts.
But I definitely want to do some of the original comic.
Okay.
In that episode.
Yeah.
And the original, like the series started with like a 5-parter or something, I think, that has like kind of higher quality animation than the series, like when the series gets picked up as an ongoing thing. So I think just watching that start of the original series is good, and those episodes kind of feed into each other a bit.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting purely episodic.
Man, I have a 2-part question.
Sure.
Was Beowulf this year, and is Beowulf a proto-primer episode?
Beowulf was the end of last year.
Close.
And no, that was a deep dive. What are you talking about?
That wasn't a super deep dive.
We did the whole Beowulf, and we watched multiple movies.
We didn't even read Tolkien's Beowulf. Not much of a deep dive. No, that's fair.
And we read multiple comics.
Fine. I forgot about the comics, which is apparently where my line is for that making sense.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're right in that it is similar to my conception of the TMNT episode in terms of
Yours
stuff.
is just more of a
but there's just so much more TMNT.
Yeah.
Than what would be covered in that episode.
Well, and the fact that you can't just you could do part of Beowulf. Read these pages from this edition.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. Good call.
I was reading a Venom comic, and I've apparently part of the the Venom stuff I haven't read leads into lore of symbiotes being on Earth for all of human history, and like being tied into stuff like Vietnam and, I quote in the comic I read, Beowulf and Grendel.
Hell yeah.
So apparently there's possibly a Venom, Beowulf, and Grendel tie-in thing.
Amazing.
I haven't done further research other than seeing that line in a comic book. I know they did a book about the Vietnam thing.
I gotta fucking know. I'm looking that up. I'm looking that up after this.
Venom is is a comic that exists. With Venom, Beowulf, and Grendel. I was like, what? They fight Dracula?
Oh shit. Man, what a fucking rough. I forget, it's like super early on in those Beowulf DC comics where he just like punches a woman. I'm like, yeah, that's my favorite part of the book. Jesus.
Right after he uses his crossbows.
I love the part of Beowulf where Beowulf says, I'm Beowulf.
I'm Beowulf. It was my favorite part.
I mean, is it really a Beowulf film if he doesn't declare like who he is?
I mean, really, the Beowulf thing we covered this year was in Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, where they fought Grendel's mom at the end.
I love that both of us came to that conclusion. Grendel's mom?
CGI nonsense.
Yeah. Man. Dude, I'm going to make my own Beowulf movie. And this time I have a completely original concept. Hear me out. What if Hrothgar fucked Grendel's mom? Okay? Right? People love it. That's it. That is his Beowulf.
Can't believe do it.
Yeah, man. I don't know what it is. They're like, we need something more here. Like a guy being strong and like defeating monsters isn't quite enough. People don't like that shit. That's not what they want.
They want Hrothgar.
What if
Grendel's mom?
What if Grendel's mom was Angelina Jolie with like built-in heels? What if that's just how her feet were?
What if we could just get Grendel's mom topless, straddling Hrothgar?
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I did also. I tried watching the film Beowulf, Bae.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, in my heart of hearts, I hoped it was either going to be like a sexploitation film or just an outright porn adaptation. Like, either way, I'm kind of here for that. It was just Beowulf, I guess, in this case, is just a woman. And there's some other deviations, but like super amateur. Like and not even just like, oh, it's amateur and like kind of acceptable. Like it was unwatchable.
Sure.
So that was disappointing.
There is a thing where like the part of that what we covered in that Beowulf episode they think about the most is the documentary about making one of those movies.
Yeah, where it was just hell.
Where like, and like I just came out of it like everyone, all the producers on this movie should be in jail.
Yeah, that's insane.
Movies are a crime.
That shit's wild.
Burned. The only movie I've ever I had to rent on Vimeo.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't even like available.
Yeah, I didn't know where else to find it.
Dude, I had to do the same thing with a film that I thought would be more popular. It was like a weird animated is not the term I would use, but it's animated. It's just a very distinct, weird style. It's called Strange Frame Love and Sax. I didn't think a lesbian cyberpunk film focused on jazz and starring sci-fi gem Claudia Black would not be available anywhere, but I had to buy that shit on Vimeo. Weirdest thing.
So it goes.
Yeah. But it's been good times. This was a good, I mean, not just good, this was a fucking like incredible year for podcasting for us, I think. A lot of hype.
We had a lot of hype watching.
Even watching Dragon Ball, but like even other stuff, there was just a lot of hype.
That's true.
There was just a lot.
That's true.
And it's always, and since we've said repeatedly, like
we watched Brain Damage this year.
Brain Damage. Hey. What a fucking great, just deadpan, like neutral, like middle-aged dude opening line. What was the guy's name? Brian? Hey, Brian. Just fantastic. Yeah, Brain Damage was that shit slapped. I don't even remember what I fucking chose for that. What did I bring to the table?
Theater of Blood.
Theater of Blood, right? I mean, that was also good. That was just Vincent Price doing his thing.
Yep. Quote Shakespeare.
For some reason, I thought it was that must have been last year or 2021. I did that new film where the chick had the chick on the back of her head.
Yeah, we did Near Dark and Malignant last year.
What was Near Dark about?
That was a vampire movie.
The modern one? Where it's like...
What? No, it was 80s,
no.
I think.
It was what? Well, 80s, but like modern time vampire.
Oh, yeah, modern setting. Yeah.
I'm like... Were there rednecks? Were they like... I'm having a super hard time remembering what the hell that one was. Huh. I mean, whatever. Anyway, lots of hype.
Yeah. It
Good
didn't
times.
have that chair throw scene from Malignant, so like
I don't remember the chair throw either, honestly.
there's just a scene that she throws a chair across the like entire like the police station and hits someone with it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no real recollection, but
And that's like also like right after we did the Jinji Ito episode.
Oh, did we do that this year too?
No, that was last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because this was 2020. Right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
My timeline's already confused enough. Now it's gonna be worse.
No. I mean, the scariest is going back to episodes we done and realize we did that like 4 years ago. Oh, no.
Yeah, dude.
What is time?
Yeah, no.
Particularly going back to pre-pandemic things.
Ugh. Those were the days.
That is multiple years ago.
Yeah. God. But we got the pre-pandemic era podcast. We got pandemic era. Now we got war era podcasts.
Yeah,
it's great. Super super cool.
Just trying to hang in there.
Love
Keep
it.
the podcast alive.
Yeah,
keep the podcast
fun
for us to do. Is the goal.
Yeah,
we keep doing it because it's fun.
Yeah. And it is fun. I'm continuing to have a very good time. I'm excited for the year ahead.
I want to look ahead. I want to tease some stuff.
Oh, yeah, go on.
That might or might not happen.
Yeah, go on.
In the future. Well, first of all, we have to do a thing that was bumped from last year, which we're theoretically going to do next week. Talking Bears night.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Well, that
Gonna
got bumped.
do-
You got sick, right? That was when you got.
Yeah, I had COVID.
Yeah.
That is why that did not
The
happen.
Rona.
Starting reading the beginning of Fist of the North Star. Want to do that? I've actually already
Yes.
done it.
Well,
I did that
yeah,
over the
and
break.
the best part was I brought that to the table, and I didn't. I just haven't
Yeah.
started it all.
Sword and or sorcery night, movie night.
Yeah. Yep. Man, we got so many movie nights in the in our doc.
We need to do the Kamen Rider manga.
Yes. Yeah.
That needs to happen. That TMNT primer and X-Men primer things I talked about. Sailor Moon R I talked about. I really want to do Kamen Rider Forze at some point this year. Because it's like similar to what's good about Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, but it doesn't shit the bed at the end. It remains fun.
Imagine. They can do that?
They can, actually.
What? No.
It's just the protagonist is just
you must have
eternally
you got it wrong.
looking up.
You had to
Just wants to be people's friends.
No, you had to have misunderstood. Didn't main character, like one of the main characters' dad, like beat them? Like that's clearly you weren't watching correctly.
He does his parents are dead. He lives with his grandpa. You learn at some point, but that's not. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a little sad. That's fine.
I mean, whatever. I grew up, Disney. Like no one's allowed to have parents. That's whatever.
I really want to do Mermaid Saga, which is another manga I've already read.
That's like a recent one though. But that's not.
Like
no,
that's
read it.
yeah,
You
a
read
recent
it
one for
recently.
me.
Yes,
because I read that over the break too.
Yeah, it's not like you.
That
read
was
it, like
I'm on my Rumiko Takahashi kick with Urusei Yatsura, and this is like the shortest manga of hers I could find, and it's like a horror manga. It's pretty fucking good. And the big thing that's stuck in my brain that I feel like could get pushed eternally, because there's like always probably going to be something I'm going to want to do more than it, is but I'm going to speak it into the world now.
Ooh.
Is doing Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I'm certainly not opposed. I will say at this point there's almost a novelty to me not having seen it, even though I know like because we watch so much other shit and it's spread throughout so much other shit, like it would be
It's
good.
so influential.
But like also it's kind of nice that I haven't seen
the thing that keeps bringing me back to I have to make Ben watch this is memes.
Sure.
There's so many memes that we can't properly enjoy together, Ben, because you haven't watched Ava.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
I don't know when.
Literally, there's
Again,
nothing, I mean, like
There's so many other things that I would rather do.
look. One day, I'll just message you and I'll be like, I think I want to watch this, and then we'll proceed to watch it all in a week. You know,
And then we can watch the Evangelion Cross Shin Godzilla concert.
yeah. Well, there's been a lot of stuff that you've brought up, like for Evangelion. That
Like the
it's, like, in
Evangelion
other
Shin
stuff.
Godzilla pachinko machine
Yeah,
that has its own CGI cutscenes.
yeah. I mean, my personal goal, as it has been for the. I mean, not that I have never brought anything good to the table, but like, I really want to I want to bring something that delights, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this will be the year. Not that it hasn't before, again, but you know. You don't keep Beowulf in your mind. You keep Twilight Samurai in your mind. That's what sticks.
Mm. I mean, I had a really good time with Beowulf. Beowulf
Yeah,
was a
no,
winner.
I know. But I don't like. That's not what sticks. Person walks by and says "nice coat," and then another person walks by and says "that's an ugly coat." What sticks more? You know. That's rhetorical. I don't.
I
Actually
don't
know
think
what would
Twilight
stick more.
Samurai, I would say, is what sticks.
No, I'm not saying.
Mostly.
No, I mean for me, like the idea,
Oh, okay.
like I brought a bad thing to the table and I brought a good thing to the table, and I remember bringing a bad thing to the table.
Oh,
Yeah. That kind of sticks.
I see.
I don't expect it to stick for you. That'd be alarming.
No,
That would make me feel so much. If you were hyper focused on like me bringing garbage instead of like the good things that I occasionally suggest, that would be alarming for me on a like psychological level. Oh, that'd be no good. Don't bring that evil.
Look, I'm still eternally frustrated with Berserk for being what it is. Honestly,
I don't think. Yeah, I don't see that
It's
ever
the other
going
one.
away.
no.
Though it could be worse. You could be people who are reading it as it came out, I guess. But yeah,
I don't know.
did we?
The number of
guess
people
we
I've
just-
heard like do like in-depth talks about it and not talk about the thing,
Man,
really, even
I
that's
guess,
the one.
look,
I'm like, how
I was jumping to the manga, but we did the
just
anime.
people who
didn't we?
just love it.
Yeah.
I want to love it, but that's yeah. I need to read more of it though.
See, I was like a baby when I read it, as far as like media knowledge goes. So
yeah.
it wasn't like I was even like used to a lot of that shit. So it was just, like it literally broke my soul for like 3 days. Like I just didn't talk to anyone at work. I remember just coming in and like, yeah, that was a whole I didn't know anything. Yeah. But yeah, that's what people like go deep on it and they don't bring that up, or they talk about how they love it and they don't bring that up.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. I mean, I was a little, even for me, the guy who talked to me, like who told me he loved it, because he like, I forget how, but we got on anime and he's like, oh, there's this show Berserk that was on in like the late 90s. I watched it all the time. Like it's super good. It's just like a dude with a big sword like killing shit. I'm like, that sounds great. He's like, yeah, like it's kind of medieval, but there's like a little bit of demon shit in there. Like it's super good. And he didn't fucking mention any of this. He didn't mention any of it. And like it's fine, but what if it wasn't, you know? Like that's like, ugh.
Yeah.
No, like that should be a thing that's brought up. Like if you ever recommend that someone read or watch Berserk, you have to be like, but
Yeah.
that's weird. But you know, maybe someday, maybe this is the year. It's maybe this is our year.
I think it's gonna happen this year.
What are our Patreon plans? Anything spicy? Anything in the hopper? Where's the official merch?
No.
Oh, come on. 2023 is the year for so many things. Why not the year we start making money? We could blow up. We could get sponsors. What if we had sponsors?
I mean, it's not worth shilling to people to sign up for a thing for the number of signups we would get. No.
We might. What if it blows up, though? What if this is the year we absolutely blow up, and then pretty soon, like, we're getting an offer to talk about Raid Shadow Legends or whatever the hell it's called. That could be us. We could be talking about products we don't use to get to get money.
I just remember some podcaster I was listening to was like, and like the rates of payout on some of those ads, and they were just like, I can't believe podcasts I listen to would sell out for this little amount of money.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's not even like I would feel not even strongly. Strongly is the wrong word. I would be more inclined to do something like a Patreon or whatever if it was like a stream. Like at least with streaming, or if it was like more video content or something, like I could at least see the argument of like, oh, or if we were playing more games or something like that required money, where you could shove any money like back into the thing you're making. Because there's the few people that I do follow, like I think there's a lot of that. If they earn any, they don't make a ton of money from their thing, so the money they do, they put it back into the thing they're making.
Well, I mean,
that's great.
The
podcast
Patreons I support, it's for an extra podcast, but that their time is then justified by the Patreon money.
Do you know how much more money I would have to get to justify that in my life right now?
That's the thing.
I need a certain amount per year, and that amount has to be in the 5 figures.
Like
that's your cue, viewers.
We're already at pushing your time to its limit as it is. So
I mean, we're not pushing it to its limit.
Yeah,
we could have pushed it to its limit the other day, where I was like, we can record for the last time today, or we can wait until a different day.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Zero desire to sell out. I'd buy a Salt Circle T-shirt though. It's a very merchandisable logo, I think.
Sure. I mean, also like the whole modus operandi of the podcast is not conductive to growth, and that's at the same way. I think if you're more focused, it's easier to grow. Like our thing of like jumping around, that's not conducive to growing an audience. What it is conducive to is keeping us fucking entertained and keep doing the podcast.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the beauty of it, right?
Like if we were just, we were just a Dragon Ball podcast now, and we just did Dragon Ball all the time.
That would
probably build up
more
people, but
what a fucking miserable.
But then we might grow to not want to talk about Dragon Ball.
What the
That's
fuck do you mean might? Like as soon as you said it, I'm like, I wouldn't like Dragon Ball anymore. Like that's just how that would go after like
that's just how it works. It's the problem with I mean, I've listened to a lot of podcasts of people who talk about a specific thing who clearly do not have the love they used to have for that thing anymore.
And that's like,
imagine if we were just doing a magic podcast.
Oh, I mean,
it would be over.
It
would be over. It would have been over a long time ago.
100%.
Yeah.
Or even, like I think the first big thing we did, like the Godzilla bracket, right?
Yeah.
And we just turned into a kaiju podcast. Like, I'd be so fucking sick of kaiju films and everything else. And then at a certain point, like with something like that, you're kind of limited to the point, like then you're starting to pull out of your ass or whatever. Like that's no good. Yeah. But I like that not only do we jump around, but because we're just like doing it for our entertainment kind of at the end of the day, like we can have literally eras. Like we just spent a year more or less watching Dragon Ball and like some other stuff like fluffed in there, whatever. But like,
Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon.
if we went on a,
Year.
if we did like literally an entire year of one thing just because that's how big it was, like, I'd actually feel, if it didn't drive us insane from only doing one thing, I would feel comfortable with that, because like, whatever, that was this year. Like, we're doing other stuff afterwards. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. the main thing is what's still fun for us to talk about.
Yeah.
And it just happened, like, but for me, like, my interest is in consuming media and like doing dives and researching it and talking about it. Like, that's what I like to do. That's my fun. So
I'm just out here having a good time. I'm just watching new shit. And it's like, I don't think look, I mean, last year, obvious low point as far as watching a thing goes was Mulholland Drive. Not even a contest. But I don't even like hate it in retrospect. I don't think I don't feel strong. Like, it's just so hard for me to hold on to hate for media. So like, we had our talk about it, enough time has passed. I'm like, it wasn't that bad. At the time, even when we podcasted, I went a little hard. But at the time, I was enraged while watching it. And now I'm like,
Mulholland Drive, number 8 on the Sight and Sound Greatest Films of All Time poll from 2022.
Yeah, well, those, you know, they're wrong. That film is garbage. No, how dare you talk positively about it and explain its merits to me in a way that I internalize. Meh. But I don't like there's been I can't think of something else where I've been like super not for it. There's been stuff where I'm like, yeah, this is good. It's fine. I think Ultra Q is one certainly, like, in recent memory where I'm like, yeah. But that was very up and down also.
That was very up and down. That was also one I hadn't watched at all before.
Yeah.
So I was up and down on it. I'm right there with you on that one. I'm not like...
But I think that's also for me.
It was more like, I want to have seen this.
And that...
It was definitely that one. And that was...
I'm okay with it.
That is definitely one, though, where I'm like more inclined to watch it on my own first and then bring it to the podcast. So, like, that's in the back of my head.
I'm okay with a little bit of that shit, honestly. Like, not that I want to watch a bad thing, but there's like that right level, and Ultra Q was there for a decent chunk of it, where it's like, I'm not having the best time, but reflecting on it, it's funny to think about watching the thing that.
But there's a reason we didn't start Ultraman.
Yeah, totally.
Which I did want to get to before Shin Ultraman. That just didn't happen.
I mean, whatever. That movie was already hype. If anything, watching that beforehand makes me more inclined to want to do Ultraman.
Yeah.
I needed the in.
But you cannot deny the power of having seen Ultra Q before watching that movie.
Dude, what a unbelievable payoff. I can't fucking believe.
Like that experience was so powerful.
I was losing my mind in the first part when they're going through all this shit, and I'm like, I can't believe it fucking paid off. I never in a million years would have thought I would be here.
Like, there were so in depth, like so many references, like and fucking hitting you like, bam, 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 all right at the start.
Oh, that was so good, just unbelievable,
just untouchable, honestly.
For a true super fan like myself, I really felt seen. Oh man. Anyway, it's been like 90 minutes.
I'm just chasing the high of this one picture I saw for this fucking soccer game that has Godzilla, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and Gundam stuff in it.
God,
It's like
the crossover.
I know Godzilla. I want to know these other things. It's really what's motivating me out here.
I mean, I get it. Why did we do Power Rangers? Because I thought the theme song wasn't real.
That was hilarious.
I thought it was a cover. I don't know it did bop that
Because
hard.
that is one I wouldn't have done Mighty Morphin. I would have skipped to RPM or done some Super Sentai thing or something. Probably reading the original Super Sentai manga.
Yeah,
That's in print in English.
but not knowing the.
But nope. Then he comes to me. He's like, "Is this real?
Is this
Like,
like the actual
Mighty
theme, or is this
Morphin.
just like a cover?
No, this is what the theme song was."
Incredible.
That show I grew up with, watched as a child.
I mean, you've learned. Like, just give me a jam and I'm fucking in. I don't even care what the thing is. Show me music first, and I'll never forgive. I've talked about it before, like privately, publicly, everything else. I'll never forgive Peter for leading me in with like a booger joke with JoJo when there's like 4 different hard riff moments, like just absolutely fucking incredibly done riffs, and he just doesn't bother with those at all. And I get there, I literally remember pausing the episode and being like, "Hey, what the fuck? What have you done?" Anyhow.
Anyway, saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com, saltcirclepod on Twitter. Anchor.fm/saltcircle. I'm on Twitter @comic panels.
I'm not. But, it was a good time. It was a good chat.
Yeah. You could send me things you think we should do, and I'll either ignore them or I'll store them away and keep them in the back of my head. Maybe in 5 years we'll do them.
Me?
No, anyone.
Anyone?
People.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I only got 2 big things.
I will also hear your requests, yes.
Oh, well, okay. I'll put what form is everyone else using. I'll file my submission.
Look, I'm trying to ride your mood as much as I can.
Yeah. I mean, the mood is, good. Morale high.
That's all I want.
Yeah. Anyway. Peace.
Peace.